get out of the car. I was like, 1 second, we're parked. I was like, I have to get out of the car for a second, and just sang this melody into my phone, got back in the car, and just, that's what that's like when that happens.
There's a moment that happened in a parked car somewhere between Taylor Swift seeing a text from her parents and Travis Kelce watching his fiancée jump out of the vehicle to record something into her phone, and that moment became the most important song on the biggest album of 2025. The story of how it happened has never been told in full in one place. And when you hear it alongside everything else that's been revealed this week about the wedding, the dress, the music, and what's happening behind closed doors, you'll understand why this couple is operating on a level nobody else can touch. Let's get into it.
Never in my life have I felt so myself. This is who I was actually meant to be.
Me and Tay watched the entire game, man, and it's just so epic, man. From the first drop of the puck, man.
So here's what happened. Taylor's parents sent her a clip of Elizabeth Taylor's son, the actual son of the legendary actress, saying that if there were one person he might compare to his mother in the modern day, in terms of persona and the chaos of fame surrounding them, it would be Taylor Swift. Taylor saw it and was so flattered that she immediately started talking to Travis about it. They were in the car together.
I had just been sent, my parents sent me this clip of Elizabeth Taylor's son saying something very flattering, that basically if there was one person he would say he might compare to his mother in modern day in terms of just, I guess, the persona and the whole, chaos going on around us. He said he would say me. I was so flattered by that when I read it. I just immediately started talking to Travis about it.
She went on and on about Elizabeth Taylor, everything she loved about her, how glamorous and funny and witty and interesting she was, how she kept challenging herself late into her life.
I was just going on and on about Elizabeth Taylor, like talking about all the things about her that I love, all the things that made her so glamorous and funny and witty and interesting, and how she kept challenging herself, like, late into her life, like, kept taking on roles that were different and brave and raw.
And as she was talking, something clicked. A melody showed up in her head, and it couldn't wait. Taylor told Travis to hold on for a second. She got out of the car. She stood there and sang the melody into her phone. Then she got back in the car and said, that's what it's like when it happens.
Get out of the car. I was like, 1 second, we're parked. I was like, I have to get out of the car for a second, and just sang this melody into my phone, got back in the car, and just, that's what that's like when that happens.
That melody became Elizabeth Taylor, the second track on Life of a Showgirl, the emotional centerpiece of the album, and the song that is now being pressed onto a limited edition violet glitter vinyl for Record Store Day on April 18th, 56 days before the wedding. Named after the most iconic bride in Hollywood history. Born in a parked car because Travis Kelce was the person she was talking to when the inspiration hit. And here's what most people don't realize. Elizabeth Taylor wasn't just any song on the album. It was the first song Taylor wrote for Life of a Showgirl. The whole album started there, in that car, with that conversation. She recorded a demo on piano and sent it to her producers, who reacted immediately. Everything else, Opalite, Fate of Ophelia, Father Figure, all of it came after. The album that dominated 2025 and is still the best-selling record on the planet. 6 months later began with Travis Kelce being the person Taylor was talking to when lightning struck. And he's not just the inspiration anymore. He's involved in the music directly. When it came time to create a remix for Opalite, Travis didn't sit back and wait. He personally reached out to a DJ through direct messages and pitched the collaboration himself. The DJ posted the screenshots with Travis's permission, showing the entire conversation. Travis initiated it, connected his fiancée's team, and helped make it happen. The remix shipped, the single went to number 1, and Travis Kelce essentially co-produced a chart-topping release through his phone. The man who watches otter videos and gives kids dating advice on a podcast is also quietly building Taylor Swift's discography from behind the scenes.
I genuinely can't do that much more of that.
Yeah, bang.
I'm a Swiftie now.
And the depth of his involvement goes even further when you look at the album as a whole. 6 songs on Life of a Showgirl are about Travis, 6, Fate of Ophelia, about him saving her from tragedy. Opalite, inspired by his birthstone.
And I had written down the word opalite because I learned that it's actually a man-made opal. Like opal can be man-made just like diamonds. And so Travis's birthstone is an opal. So it's like that I've always fixated on that. I've always loved that stone. And I thought it was a kind of a cool metaphor that like it's a man-made opal and happiness can also be man-made too.
Elizabeth Taylor, born from their car ride conversation. Honey, a Love Letter. Wish List, described as the album's final piece, and Wood, which is Taylor's most explicit song ever, with lyrics about Travis's physical attributes that made the entire internet lose their minds on release day.
Taylor Swift went from writing songs about what a dick this guy was to her and what a dick this guy was to her to what a dick this guy has.
Travis called the whole album banger after banger on the podcast. He said he was the lucky man who gets to be the support system while she drops one of the coolest albums the world has ever seen. Now let's talk about the wedding itself, because a detail just surfaced that connects Taylor to the most famous bride of the 21st century. An anonymous tip submitted to a well-known celebrity gossip platform under the name Taylor, with the subject line referencing one of Taylor's album titles, claimed that the most talked-about bride-to-be will be wearing a gown designed by the same person who made the wedding dress for a certain princess. The designer in question created one of the most iconic royal wedding looks in history and now leads a legendary fashion house. If this is true, Taylor Swift's wedding dress would share a direct creative lineage with the most watched wedding of the century. Multiple fashion experts have weighed in. Some are predicting classic Americana, from the house that dressed both Taylor and Travis in their engagement photos. Others say expect multiple looks, one for the ceremony, one for the party. One legendary bridal designer predicted lace of some sort. The guessing game has become its own cultural event.
Do you have any ideas of what you think she'll choose for a wedding dress? Or what do you think she should go with?
There'll be just one.
Ooh.
But that would be my guess.
Yeah?
I would think so.
And while the dress mystery builds, the people closest to both families are telling us everything without saying it explicitly. Taylor's best friend went on a podcast this week and confirmed for the first time that a song on one of Taylor's albums was written about her. A fan theory debated for 5 years, but never confirmed until now.
I feel, well, Dorothea's about me, one of her songs. Oh. And I feel like a lot of moments, huge moments, that were self-defining.
She also revealed an unreleased song Taylor wrote about their friendship over a decade ago. A song about believing in each other's impossible dreams as teenagers.
There's this song that Taylor wrote about us, and it was called Family. And it was over easily a decade ago. Insinuating in the lyrics, without quoting it, is basically saying you have these amazing dreams, you want to be in movies. Like, in every crowd, I still see you. Now, when I listen to that song, both of those things makes me want to have happened for us.
And then she said the line that has the whole internet crying. She said the coolest part of their 17-year friendship is that after all the heartbreaks and love stories, they both ended up finding good dudes. That's what the bridesmaid calls the groom. Good dude.
I don't know Taylor that well, but I just feel like you both ended up with good dudes.
Yeah, from 17 years of friendship, from multiple heartbreaks and love stories and fun stories in life, we both ended up, fortunately, being engaged around the same time. And that was the coolest part.
Do you know?
Meanwhile, the mothers are operating on their own timeline entirely. Taylor's mom and Travis's mom were spotted at a major film festival earlier this year, just the two of them, attending events arm in arm without their famous children anywhere nearby. Sources say the growing friendship between the mothers reflects how serious the couple is about building a future together. When Andrea Swift and Donna Kelce are independently bonding at public events, that's not two women who met at a football game, that's family. That's the merger that's already happened before the ceremony even takes place. And then there's the venue. A travel reporter confirmed this week that June 13th is blocked off at a triple Forbes 5-star resort on the Rhode Island coast. She described the setting, one of the most beautiful beaches she's ever seen, white sand fringed with dune grass, a manicured south lawn with ocean views that would make any bride weep. Taylor reportedly paid off another bride who had the date booked, and in one of the more delightful subplots of this entire saga, a legendary rapper who calls himself the #1 fan has been publicly campaigning to officiate the ceremony ever since attending Taylor's tour. He told interviewers he's dying to do it. Whether Taylor takes him up on it or not, the fact that this man is out here lobbying for the job on camera tells you everything about the gravitational pull of this wedding. Everything traces back to that car ride. A text from Taylor's parents, a conversation with Travis about glamour and legacy, and a legendary woman who refused to be defined by anyone else's story, a melody that couldn't wait, a song that became an album that became a cultural phenomenon, and now that song, the first one she ever wrote for this era, is becoming a vinyl release 56 days before she walks down the aisle to marry the man who was sitting next to her when the whole thing started. That's not songwriting. That's a love story writing itself in real time, and we get to watch it happen. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.